The hike we are going on today is 8 kilometers long along the coast. Our youngest child is 4 years old and she has completed it in the past. As with all things, preparation is the key to success. So make sure that you give yourself enough time in the morning to get everything ready. Let everyone have a hearty breakfast. This will give them enough energy for the hike. Make sure that there is time for a cup of coffee if you are a coffee lover. Morning chores must still be done, and if everyone gives a hand, then the fun can begin sooner. We made sandwiches for lunch. Give them some time to cool down before you put them in the container, else they'll become soggy. Pack the supplies for the day in a backpack. We took along sandwiches for lunch, fruit, pretzels, a protein snack like biltong, nuts or boiled eggs, and sweets or some other special treats. We used to take packets of chips with, but I have since found that pretzels or crackers are far more filling. They also take up less space and are less likely to become crushed in the bag. Take along a bottle of juice for each person. We write everyone's initials on their juice bottle so that we know whose is whose. Also take an extra bottle of water. Also pack first aid supplies. We take pain and inflammation medication, plasters, cream for cuts and grazes, and another cream for insect bites and stings. It's also a good idea to take along an inhaler if someone has asthma. As this is not a circular hike, we park one car at the end and drive with our second car to the beginning. Remember to make sure that you have both cars' keys. It'll be a disaster to get to the end and realize that you've left the keys in the other car. Remember to take a photo before you start and at the end. Sometimes it takes a little patience with children. At the beginning, everyone is full of energy. So we walk for about half an hour before everyone gets rewarded with a small sweet. As you can see, my kids helped me with this video footage. I hope that it's good enough and that you don't start to feel seasick. Singing a song like "Following the Leader" gets everyone in a jolly mood, and everyone can have a turn to be in front. We stop for a sweet every 15 minutes. This helps keep everyone full of energy. Our rules are, you can get a treat if you don't moan and if you don't ask how long until we can get another sweet. Just drink a little juice or water at the beginning of the walk so that you don't need to go to the toilet. We wear tackies or hiking boots and socks when we go hiking. Hats and suntan lotion are a must to protect against the sun, even in winter. As we have to walk through some thorny brush, I make sure that everyone wears long pants. I prefer them to wear jeans, but they can choose any long pants that they would like. This will also help protect against snake bites. It's important to stay together. We don't require our kids to stay in a tight group, but the person that is in front must be able to see the person at the back, and they must be able to hear if we call them. Either myself or my husband always stays with the little ones to encourage them, but we don't ever pick them up, else they'll want to be carried all the way. It helps to give the little ones a job to do while walking, like carrying a small bag for a little while, or helping their siblings. Kids love to pick up treasures along the way, but we've decided that each person must carry their own treasures. One way to help them get rid of some of their treasures, if we notice that they've got too many, is to tell them to make an artwork during one of our short stops for the next hiker to enjoy. We stop every 15 minutes for about 2 to 5 minutes so that everyone can get their sweet, but this also helps us to stay in a group. Don't stop for too long, else the hike takes forever. Every hour we'll have a slightly longer stop for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then we have our slightly healthier snack, like fruit, nuts, biltong or pretzels. If it is cold at the beginning of the hike, it's best to have a light jacket that can be tied around your waist if you get too hot later. Our youngest child tied her jacket around her waist and used it as a bag for all her treasures. We also have little stops along the way to do fun things. My husband took along his fishing rod, and we also collect shells. Give older children the responsibility to take photos of beautiful things along the way. We usually have a longer rest for lunch of about 20 to 30 minutes. We don't keep time, but once we've noticed that everyone has eaten enough and drunk enough and rested enough, we get going. We have our lunch when we are past the halfway mark. This hike was 8 kilometers, so we had our lunch at 5 kilometers. Knowing that we are closer to the end helps everyone to remain positive. Remember to clean up after each break. In the past, we've noticed that there is litter along the way, so this time we brought a plastic bag for each person. Towards the end of the hike, we gave each child their bag, which they had to look for litter for. Don't give it at the beginning of the hike, else you have to carry it for a very long way. When we are close to the end, we let our children run the last little bit. And here we are throwing away all those bags of litter. When you are finished hiking, remember to drink a big glass of water to rehydrate. We are so proud of our children for finishing, so we gave them a treat to celebrate.
And now for the real deal. Thank you so much for staying all the way till the end of the video. My family and I had a great time going hiking today. But although we did have a good time, it doesn't mean that every single moment along the way it was great. For one thing, we had quite a strong wind coming from the front, which meant that the hike took about 45 minutes longer than it usually does, which led to some grumpiness towards the end. We also had to use our medical aid kit twice. The first time because we met some naughty dogs along the way, and the one bit my 4-year-old's hand until it bled, and ripped holes into my 12-year-old's pants so that we were going to have to throw them away. This really shook up my children, and they were quite upset about it for quite some time afterwards. Also, my son stood in a big thorn that went right through his shoe and into his foot, and that also made him a bit grumpy towards the end. But even though these experiences were not very positive, they were soon forgotten in the sense of accomplishment that they felt of completing an 8-kilometer hike. Of their things that they learned along the way, the good times that we've had as a family along the way. And that has just made it so worth it, that these good things far outweigh any of the negative things that they experience. I hope this really encourages you to go take your small children out hiking. Perhaps start with smaller hikes and then build them up so that they can go for longer and longer periods of time. Perhaps you're able to go for much longer hikes than we've done with our children. Let us know if you've got any suggestions that might help us as well. And join us again next week for our next video. Bye!
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. I put out 2 new videos every week, one on a Sunday and one on a Wednesday. Join us again next time. Bye!